In the criminal justice system, the people
Pimps, addicts, thieves, bums, winos, girls who can't keep an address, and men who don't care.
are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
A cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law, you're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news.
These are their stories.
And what a story it is. I will start with one of the more famous J6 rioters, the QAnon Shaman, as they called him. That's right. You remember the QAnon Shaman.
What?
Yeah. He was the guy who had that big headpiece. He was bare-chested, as I recall, stormed the Capitol on January 6th, and now Jacob Chansley, the QAnon Shaman, he wants his head, what would you call it, a hat? His headpiece.
It's more than a hat.
It's a helmet, a horned helmet. He wants his horned helmet back, everybody. Come on. I checked it at the gate when I came into prison, and I want it back. They're keeping it like it's evidence, says Jacob Chansley. The case is over. There's no reason for them to continue holding on to it. I want it back, he says.
Why are you yelling?
It's rather upsetting that they're not doing what the government is supposed to do and return the property, said Chansley. By the way, it's nice that you have a sense of what government's supposed to do. It would be nice if you had the sense of private property and government property and respecting boundaries. Chansley pleaded guilty to a charge of obstructing a federal proceeding in connection to the Capitol attack, resulting in a 41-month prison sentence in November of 2021. But
So is he out?
well, if you do the math, it hasn't been 41 months, Kim.
Why are you yelling?
Now he wants his hat back?
He was transferred to a halfway house because of good behavior in prison.
Oh, yeah, well.
That halfway house is in Arizona, so he only ended up serving 27 months in prison. The former fur-covered insurrectionist said that he had purchased this headdress long before he decided to storm the Capitol. Dude, he said, and this is a quote, "Dude, I've been dressing that way for over 10 years."
Why are you yelling?
In his sentencing memorandum, Mr. Chansley's then lawyer described the images of his client as becoming inextricably linked to the events of the Capitol riot. Inextricably would be a ding word. Yeah.
It really shows the level of crazy that happened that day. These are the kind of people that came out.
Yeah. The former rioter told journalists that the FBI took the signature headpiece when he turned himself in days after the riot. I had it with me, he said, in the car, and they just took it. They gave my mom the car back shortly after the investigation was over, but they refused to give me my headdress and my staff and my phone and my pants, he said. What's up with that? Where's my staff? And where are my pants?
Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants.
Outrageous.
I want my iron rod back.
Yeah. The guy had a staff. I had forgotten that. Well, in any case, he still is on the hunt for his hat. There's a big trial in Washington. It's going down, I believe, actually in New York, although the effects of the trial and the central figure in the trial ripple first to Washington. I'm talking about the Wayne LaPierre trial, the executive VP and chief executive officer of the NRA. He and two others who were executives at the NRA will be in court and are being accused of pilfering money from the NRA, but I mean looting the NRA for tens of millions of dollars. They've been looting it for so long that it's allowed a lot of spending on stuff that's a lot of fun, like vacations and spending sprees of like shopping sprees. I mean, LaPierre set himself up with a $17 million contract on top of that. And he was spending money a lot on travel and luxury car services, private flights for himself and his family, $500,000 on 8 trips to the Bahamas over a 3-year span. Now, you may say that it's good that they're nailing this guy. We had this story, by the way, years ago, because this story broke a few years ago. We were still on the radio on KGO, and I remember speaking about it at some length because I was telling you, if you're an NRA member, I just want you to know that's what your money's going toward. So you think it's going to gun rights or attorneys or whatever it may be. It's going to supporting this sick lifestyle of Wayne LaPierre, who is a sick man because he is able to rationalize the death of so many innocent creatures at the hands of these military-grade weapons. And that was one part of it. And you may say, so I don't care, NRA money and followers, why do I care if they're getting in some way duped? Oh, in one way, maybe you don't. But in another way, it's an interesting window into this organization. And the other thing I mentioned to you before, and I think this is really the most important thing, is that the NRA isn't powerful anymore. The NRA may collapse as a result of this, first of all. And the NRA is an organization you used to need the support of if you wanted to achieve any kind of real political momentum, certainly on the right. That's not true anymore. You don't really need the NRA. They don't have money to swear. They used to pour money into local races and national races. They don't do that anymore. You can see all the money's going to, sending Wayne LaPierre, his buddies, and their families on vacations. But the thing, and I think this is the most important thing that I'd like to underscore, is that in a way, the gun movement in America, in the United States of guns, doesn't need the NRA anymore. The power of that movement has already been baked into the DNA of the U.S. And so now you have almost a popular movement and anger around gun ownership and ownership of these assault weapons. It's crazy. It's out of control. But my point is, this organization, they may be part of the genesis story of that DNA being built into the American populace, but they're not critical to it anymore. So even as Wayne LaPierre goes down, and I'm sure he will, I think they've got a lot of receipts here in this New York case, the death of the NRA is a footnote to the destruction that the NRA has done, because it's already in the DNA now of America, sadly. There is going to be a lot of testimony from other executives at the NRA about LaPierre. And LaPierre has resigned from the organization. So this organization rotting from the top down, but it was a rotten business they were in to begin with.
Yeah. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Exactly. That's Law and Disorder for today.
Tune in again next time for more Law and Disorder on The Mark Thompson Show.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.